My goal today is really to focus on how to generate a lead funnel using the new California Dream for All launch that's happening next year. This is a program that you should see on the screen right now, a URL, dreamforall.info, or you can scan the QR code. That is specifically for a page for you, for realtors. There's a different web page that you'll give to your clients. But as I'm introducing the program, I want to have this up so that you can get to that page and create an account for yourself. I'll show you how it works, what it does, but scan that info right now. I'll demonstrate how it works in a few minutes. But that's the first place you want to get started is by going to that web page that's on the screen. So first of all, what is California Dream for All? It is a down payment assistance program that is bigger than any other down payment assistance program out there. And my audience today is realtors. So I'm speaking specifically to you about how to use this as a lead generation machine. I generated a bunch of leads from this program over the last 2 years, and I've closed a lot of deals because of it. So here's the deal. In 2023, the state launched this program, and the money was gone in 11 days. And so in 2024, they launched it again, but this time they made it a lottery, which is the best thing we ever could have done for the purpose of generating active buyers that are interested in this program. So I'm going to give you some overall stats. In 2024, they told us in January that they were going to be opening up the lottery reservation portal in April, and that they were going to accept reservations from people who were first-time home buyers and first-generation home buyers. So you have to be never having a first generation, one person has to be first generation, which means they have not personally ever or not personally owned any property in the last 7 years, and their parents do not currently own a home. Now, there's some other caveats to it, but that's the biggest hurdle. But here's the truth. A lead magnet is something that is a true statement that gets people interested in without necessarily disqualifying them. So the idea of a lead magnet is to say, hey, I have an opportunity for certain people that qualify to get access to 20% of the purchase price on a home to use as down payment assistance. That in and of itself is all you need to say. Now I'm going to create landing pages for you. We're in the process of doing that are going to have all of this sales logic built into it so that you just pick what landing page you want and you can send it out there. But what I want to teach you today is just what the lead generation process is going to look like and what the tools are going to look like that I'm going to provide to you. So here's the math. In 2024, 17,000 first-time homebuyers got pre-approved by somebody, talked to a realtor in probably half of those cases about whether they should be buying a home or not, and submitted their name into the lottery in April of 2024. Of those 17,000, 1,700 got a voucher to use. 10%, 90% didn't get a voucher. Okay. Of the 90% that didn't get a voucher, about 4,000 more got on the wait list. Every one of those people on the wait list has now gotten a voucher. It just took almost 2 years for them to get the opportunity to buy a home. Now, unless you're planning on quitting real estate in the next 2 years, who cares if you get a lead that isn't buying today? Because you need leads, you need clients who are going to buy tomorrow. And this has generated a huge opportunity for me. Let me give you my math. So first of all, in the last year and a half, I have closed, well, since June of last year, which is when this came out, the outro vouchers came out, I have closed 58 of these California Dream for All loans. Now, I've closed a total of 125 clients, families that I've assisted with purchasing or refinancing a home in the last 11 months. So I'm going to end up right around 140, 135 to 140 for the year. But that's over 12 months for all different types of loans. For this exact loan, I've closed 58 in the last year and a half. Now, what's funny is I originally had received about 250 inquiries between January of 2024 and April 25th, 26th, 27th, when they closed out the lottery portal. I got over 250 leads of people who wanted to get qualified for the program. Of those 250, a bunch of them were not first generation. A bunch of them made too much money. A bunch of them didn't have good enough credit because the credit for this program is a 680 credit score. But I have other programs that don't require you to be a first generation homebuyer. I have other programs that don't require you to have a 680 credit score. I have other programs that have higher or no income limits when it comes to your ability to use down payment assistance. I can help somebody with zero down payments up to around a $875,000 purchase price anywhere in the state of California, no matter how much money they make per month, as long as they have at least a 620 credit score. It's just not this program. It's not the Dream for All program that's providing you with 20% for a down payment. This program is by far the best down payment assistance program out there. And it's also the most expensive. The buyers pay back the most amount of money long term from this program than any other down payment assistance program because they pay back a percentage of their equity. So I'm not pitching you on the entire program. I got webinars. I did a webinar on Monday night. I can send you a copy of that webinar that gives you all of the details. I spent an hour talking about how the program works, and my audience there was to consumers. I'm going to continue doing these webinars regularly. In January, I'll probably do two, depending upon when they announce the timing. As we get closer, I'll do probably one a week as we get closer to when we know the date is coming, and maybe more often. And so here's what it looked like for me, and then what I want to do with you. What it looked like for me is I had 250 people who said, I want to get qualified for this program. 85 of them got qualified. You're like, John, that's pretty good. You closed 56 of the 85. No, because 85 people got qualified, put in a voucher. 11 of my 85 won the voucher in the beginning. Only 11, which is actually better than the 10% stats. I got lucky. Okay. So I had 11 people that immediately had a voucher. But I'm continuing to market this program, and I'm marketing myself as the expert in this program. So that's part of it, is I've got people that continued to come back to me, and those people came back to me often needing a real estate agent. And so as I'm partnering with realtors all around the state, I'm looking for realtors to send those clients to when they find me through my YouTube channel. So I've got a YouTube channel that is dedicated completely to California Dream for All. If you go on YouTube and you simply search California Dream for All on YouTube, you will find me, my videos, my YouTube page, pretty much 9 of the top 10. So I don't dominate Google search, I don't dominate AI search, but I dominate YouTube search on this particular program. Now that's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm just telling you what I've got behind me. But I also closed another 40 transactions. That's not true. I pre-approved another 40 people. I've closed so far 22 of them that didn't use the Dream for All program. But they still bought, and they were part of the 250 that raised their hand while I was marketing this heavily from January through April of 2024. And we're about to hit that cycle again. There's going to be a lot of information about this program out there. There's also going to be a lot of people who are going to never hear about it until it's too late. And I've run into a lot of them. And so I'm counting on your help to get in front of more of these people. I am an expert in this program. I've delivered in the last 2 or 3 years a thorough understanding of it. And I want to bring you into the fold early so that you can use this to help generate leads. So I'm going to move off of this screen, and I'm going to share with you kind of what the portal looks like and how it works for you, and then how it would work for your consumers. If you have questions and you're watching live, post it onto Zoom chats. If you have questions and you're watching recorded, post it into YouTube comments, and I'll get back to you on YouTube. If you're watching live, I'll get back to you right away. So let me share with you my screen here. So hold on 1 second right there. Okay, so share, and I want to share this one. There we go. All right, so you guys should see my screen. So this is the same screen that you should see if you scan that QR code that I was showing you a second ago, or if you go to dreamforall.info, you will get to this screen. This is not the screen for you to send your clients. As a matter of fact, it says right here, if you are not a real estate professional, if you're a home buyer looking to use a calculator, click here to go to the calculator. You are a real estate professional. So create your account. Start right here, create your account. If by chance you already created an account with just a calculator, maybe you saw my webinar a couple of days ago and you already created an account, then you can go right here and say, hey, if you're an existing user, you can sign in to upgrade your account to a realtor account. So either way, you're starting right here. Once you fill in your information, you're going to be taken to a landing page that is going to be pretty similar to this page. And so it's going to have you uploading your profile and your logo. It's going to have you putting in your name and your contact information, and you're going to save your profile. At that point, my team takes over. So we're going to go through, we're going to validate that you really are a realtor. Not that any of you are not, but I'm putting this out on my YouTube channel, and I don't want just anybody logging in and creating landing pages that isn't a real estate agent or is using this inappropriately. So we've got kind of a block right there. But when you log in, you will have the ability to, once you've filled this out, to go to your own calculator and run numbers for yourself. So this is what the calculator looks like. So the first thing, once you're done with your profile, you'll be able to act as a new client and run a calculator for yourself. You can use fake numbers, you can use real numbers, I'll never know, but you can play with it and see what the calculator does. I love the calculator. Okay. I'm very, very happy with what I've built. This is really easy for people to understand that, hey, based on how much I earn, so you can go right here and you can go to adding your income. So this says, hey, in this particular situation, my test person, that sample borrower, makes $150,000 and they meet all four requirements. First-time home buyer, California resident, first generation, and they're going to live in the home. And then they can add in their debts. You can add in estimated debts. You put in your credit score. Actually, this is wrong. It says a score used for qualification. Oh, yeah. So it is 700 because that is dynamic. So if I put 680, it puts 680 there. Okay, cool. All right. So you can add your bills in here. Your clients can say, hey, this is how much I have in debts. Why? Because it will tell you what you qualify for. So right now I'm saying, hey, I make $150,000. I have a 680 credit score and I have no debts. Well, let's add a debt. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh, hold on, this screen's, I'm in the middle of working through some bugs. So this one is not letting me add a debt in here. Pretend it does, okay? All right, so you're now updating that and you go back to your calculator and it will allow you in your calculator to run numbers and say, hey, what's the most I qualify for? Now, I might not be in Los Angeles County. I might be Calaveras County. And in Calaveras County, now why does that matter? Because the income limits are different per county. So in Calaveras County, you can only make $160,000. If you make over the limits, then it'll tell you what other counties you can buy in. And you got to look and see, hey, what's nearby. Okay. But what's cool about all of this is that basically you can see, hey, based on the income that you input and the debts you input, the most we would let you spend is $5,625. Somebody can do this based on the landing page I'm about to show you that you will put out there and market. It will allow those people to run this calculation for free, just to figure out if they can do it. But now you're collecting their contact information, and so am I, so that we can follow up with them. So we put them on a drip campaign to find out, hey, what are you looking to buy? If this isn't the right program, let's find something else. It's a lead funnel. Hopefully you know what that is and how they work. And it's about capturing the information of people who are interested, even if they're just kicking tires. And that's the gold mine of this, is that you're getting an opportunity to get people who are saying, yeah, I really want to buy a home. And as a matter of fact, they're providing no personal information. They're not providing social security numbers. They're not providing birth dates, but they're giving us an idea of their financials so that we know how well qualified they think they are. Okay. And so now somebody says, John, that's great. I can buy $875,000 to $911,000, but I don't want to spend $5,600. Great. Then change it and say, hey, I only want to spend $4,000 a month. Cool. Then at $4,000 a month, you can buy a $600,000 home with no money out of pocket. Or you can buy a $672,000 home if you put $60,000 out of pocket. So those are your scenarios where the client just says, no, I just want to buy. I found the perfect house for me that's $550,000. What's that going to cost? Now, this automatically updates to today's interest rate. So it's always going to show the current interest rate. And based on a $550,000 home, well, it depends on how much they want to pay out of pocket. They're going to be anywhere from $3,200 a month if they're willing to put 50 grand out of pocket, all the way up to $3,600 a month if they want to put zero out of pocket. It's entirely up to them. And they get to run these scenarios. And here's the cool thing. If you're not, now all of you are going to register and have it in here. So therefore, they're going to have you linked as their realtor. So if they go here and they say, hey, I want to email this, you're going to be linked in here automatically as their real estate agent. when you get linked in there as their real estate agent, you're going to have access to their numbers right here where it says your clients. So right now you have no clients, but anybody who creates an account using your web portal or your landing page will automatically become one of your clients. Or you can send them in to me and I can create them and then they will automatically be tagged to you. So very, very simple. You're going to be able to create a landing page. You're going to be able to go right here. Once we have you approved, and there's a couple bugs we're still working out, but I want to get you guys registered into the system and playing with the calculator. You can always email the calculator link out to your clients directly, and then just tell me that they're working with you and I'll tag them into your portal. But what's nice about this is you get to go in here and you get to pick from all of these different landing pages that we've created. So there's lots of different landing pages. We're creating more of them right now. We're just finishing up this part of developing that end of it, but we're going to have landing pages for you so that you can say, hey, here's a sample of this landing page. And it's, hey, your first home journey starts here. This one happens to be a more detailed one. Like this one, if you like or you think that you've got clients who are very detail oriented and you want to send them something that gives them the details about it, maybe you text this link out to them or you email it out to them. This wouldn't make a good link for social media, because social media, you want to sell the sizzle. You want to sell the wow. It'll have your information and mine at the bottom right here. So everything is automatically updated. You can pick this template. You can have multiple templates if you want to. So it's very, very customizable so that you can have all of the templates that you want. And then when your clients are in here, here's the cool thing. You're going to be able to see, and let me do this really quickly. You're going to be able to see their calculations. Now, you won't get to see their income. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show a different screen to you so you hopefully can see. Let's see, are you seeing the right thing? Yes, you are. So let's go here. All right, so I'm going to log in as an admin and I'm going to kind of show you what it would look like. So I've got clients right here. Melanie, thank you for signing up. So if I go in here, and I'm going to use an example here because you're going to have the ability to do this. This is what your client list is going to look like. And so you're able to go in here. Here is a test sample that my team was doing. So let's do this example right here. And so what this is I'm able to basically log in and see the calculations that your clients have done. Now, I'm also able to look at their income number. I can click right here and update the income and the credit score and all that stuff, and I can see their income. You won't be able to, because that's not appropriate for you to see their level of income. You can't see their debts. You won't see their credit score, but you'll see this. You'll see what calculations they ran. You can run calculations for them so that as you're on the phone with them and you guys are writing offers and you're saying, well, wait a second, that house is going to have Melrose. Perfect. Then let's just put in here Melrose. That's going to have an extra $300 a month in Melrose. Perfect. Then I just add that $300 a month in Melrose, and now that shows up right here. And so now it changes when you're saying, hey, what's the max I qualify for? Well, their max amount is limited now based on the fact that you said, hey, it's going to be in a high fire zone. And so I think the insurance is going to be more expensive. And so we're going to use higher homeowners insurance. That's going to impact their qualification. Okay. Matter of fact, it says 55% homeowners insurance. It should be 0.55%. Is that going to work? 0.55, 0.55. I got to fix that. All right. So all of these numbers are automatically built in. So if you're talking to somebody and they're saying, hey, because I have for the 58 people that I helped buy with this program, and I have 5 more out shopping right now, they don't know how much they can spend, and you have a hard time with it too. Like, wait a second, what about if we find a house that is in an HOA? Can I do that? Well, the HOA changes it. So if you're looking at a property, again, all of this is built in. So if you've got a property that has a $500 HOA, great. Then that $500 HOA is built into the numbers. So I'm building all of this in. You will be able to do that for any of your clients. So the key here is that you've got the ability to create a landing page. So right now, what you're going to do is you're going to scan the QR code, that I'm going to pull back up on the screen right now. And you're going to scan this QR code if you haven't already, or go to dreamforall.info, and you are going to um, um, create an account. Okay, that's the key. You're going to create the account. You're going to upload your picture. You're going to put your personal information in there. And we can edit it later because right now it's not letting you crop the picture properly. So if your picture doesn't upload properly, email it to me. We will get it uploaded properly. Okay. But I want to get this started now. We're not launching the actual landing pages for maybe a week or so until we get them finalized, but we are almost ready to launch the landing pages. But right now I want you to get started. You can share the app with anybody that you want. Okay. If you share the app right now, it won't automatically link to you. And so you need to tell me, hey, John, by the way, I sent my client Bobby and he signed up on the app. Can you link him to me so he shows as one of my clients? I'll do that manually. Once you get your landing page set up, that's when you're going to be able to see who logged in because they're going to, let's go to your landing page right here as an example. So here is a sample landing page. And when somebody clicks on the check my eligibility now and they register for an account, then you will get them tagged automatically to be your client. They'll show up in your client list right down here on the bottom. Okay. Until then, you can send them to app.californiadreamforall.info. So this is the actual page that consumers get. This is the login page that can talk about kind of how it explains how the program works, what the calculator does for you. So it's app.californiadreamforall.info, and then they can sign in and create an account. Okay. It just won't automatically link it to you. Okay. I have covered a whole lot. I want to pause and see what questions anybody has. So I know some people have come on late. We're up to 7 people here on the call. And I know a lot more people are going to be watching this recorded. So if you have a question and you're watching it live, then probably somebody else is going to have a question. The most important thing, guys, is get yourself signed up. Get yourself registered. Get your personal information in there. If you are uploading your information and it's not cropping your photo correctly, if you're having an issue right here, just email us the photo. Okay. My contact information is right down here. So you've got john@johnloneking.com. Email us the contact, your photo, your company logo. We'll get it in there properly. We're just having the site updated so that you can actually zoom in and center it. But it is really going to be huge in the first of the year in helping you to generate leads. This is something you can put out on social media. It is something you can put out emailing or texting your clients. There are so many amazing templates that we have already. And I'm looking forward to showing you more of them that we are creating. It looks like we have a question. How do you market the page? So that's the most important thing that we can talk about one-on-one. Everybody's going to have a different game plan for marketing the page. Sometime, if you have a good past client database, you're going to use it or prospects. I have sent text messages to everyone that I have contact information for over the last 7 weeks about this program. Okay. I have generated 120 people that are interested in this program or have a family member that are interested simply by sending them a text message about the program. And I will give you guys a library of some of those text messages. So I'll have that. I don't have it yet, but I will put into the menu here. We've got lots of resources. I've got links to my Dream for All website. I've got information. I've got a payback calculator. A lot of people are worried about how much money do I have to pay back later. I've got a whole calculator that goes through that. You can see all the county limits on what are the income limits if somebody really wants to dive in that deep. And so the answer is, John, you can market it any number of ways, but I am finding that social media, like Facebook advertising, saying, 20%, I mean, really, you got to trial and error, A/B test this stuff. But the fact that we are offering 20% of the purchase price and down payment assistance is really the sizzle that everybody is really interested in. So when I'm texting it, John said, am I texting the link with the link included? I've actually done it both ways. I have found that texting them with reply with a single word. So reply with confirm, reply with ready, reply with now, reply with me, like any number of different things, I get way more response. If I text you the link, somebody's going to click the link and they're going to get lost in reading it because the link will take them, for example, to this page. And they get lost in reading this page. And they're like, and they don't necessarily click the button to do something. And so what I do is I get the information out there and I tell them about it. Now, this is good because some people might say, send me information about it. You can have this as kind of a follow-up or part of the drip campaign. But here's the deal. I find that getting somebody to just click yes, to raise their hand right away is the best thing. Now I can nurture you. Now I can say, great, I'm going to send you a link to my calculator page and you would send them this, or you'd register them yourself. Then you say, hey, I've registered you in there. I've sent you an invitation. We're building a portal. You're going to have the ability here as in your realtor dashboard, you can have a spot to invite clients where you can put their name, their email address, and their phone number and click invite, and that'll actually invite them into the portal. So I want to reduce the friction as much as I can. So we're going to give you the ability to invite people to the portal. Send them a text message, send them an email with just here's your login to the portal. Here's the benefits you're going to get by using the portal. And you tell them, this is not for automated marketing. Like you don't create an account and invite somebody into the portal unless they've told you they want to use it. So please don't use that part. What you're doing is either people are registering themselves in there or they're replying to your text message and you're saying, great, I've got a portal that you can use to run your numbers and see what it looks like before you even worry about talking to someone. Would you prefer to set up a phone call right now to go ahead and talk specifically about your numbers, or do you want to just peruse the portal right now and run your own numbers? The people who are ready are going to tell you I'm ready. The people who aren't ready are going to say, hey, you know what? I actually like the idea of doing some self-serve, but we collect their information. We can track how often they're going in there and we can drip on them accordingly. I learned a concept a long time ago called potato chip marketing. And it's really what I'm trying to do here. So potato chip marketing says, if you are sitting on a park bench and you see a squirrel in a tree across the park and you have a potato chip and you're like, hey, I want that squirrel to eat the potato chip out of my hand. What do you do? Well, you can hold the potato chip in your hand and say, here, squirrely, 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 here, squirrely, squirrely, come get the potato chip. It's really tasty. And the squirrel's going to run. Okay. That is like the worst thing to do because you're requiring them to make a huge commitment and there's fear with that squirrel coming across and trying to come too close to you. Okay. I'll tell you another story in just a second. So what do you do with it? Well, you put the potato chip at the bottom of the tree and you walk away. And you leave it there. And within a day or so, the squirrel's going to run down and grab the chip and come back. And you do that 5 days in a row. And then on the 6th day, you put it a little bit closer to the bench. And then you do that five days. And then you put it a little closer to the bench. And sooner or later, you're moving it a little bit closer, incrementally bringing the squirrel closer until you put the potato chip at the bottom of your foot. And the squirrel's only moving one step closer every time. And then you put it on the bench next to you. And then you put it in your hand. Okay, so the idea here is you're not being threatening. You can send out marketing and you can say, hey, here's a link, go in here, fill in all of your information, schedule a consultation, and people freeze. They're interested, but they freeze. So it's called a funnel. You want to get a lot of people at the top and then you want to narrow it down. And so we want to get this in front of as many people as possible. So part of this is having a lead magnet, having something they're interested in, but you actually want a low commitment from them, a very, very low commitment from them. And so I actually created, I'll show you right now, and I've got, it's a conversion campaign funnel. It's exactly right, John. So I've got a page that is simply called calculator. Okay, so the calculator does not require them to log in. So they can run their own scenario. So we could decide on your campaigns that we want to direct them to just this calculator. Now, mind you, you're not collecting their information, but it wets their whistle. So right here, they say, hey, right here, you can do a free. So I'm buying in San Francisco, okay? And I want to buy a $3 million home. And it's going to say, well, we kind of got a problem because the high, actually, why is it not telling me the purchase price here? Because like you can't buy a $3 million home. And it should have given me an error telling me that because the highest you can go is a 1.2 right here. Right here it says this is perfect. All right, I just gotta make it bigger. This got buried. Your request exceeds the price. Your price exceeds the county limit. The numbers above represent the highest price available in San Francisco County, assuming you're putting the maximum allowed out of pocket. The maximum price for this scenario is 1.368. I gotta make that way bigger. Okay, but the fact is, it said, hey, this is the most you can buy. And so if I said I want to buy a $1.5 million home, it's giving me the same answers. And it's saying the highest you can go is 1.3. Okay, but if I want to buy a 1.2, then it says, cool, you can buy a $1.2 million home. Your payment's going to be 8 grand. You're going to need about $66,000 out of pocket. Oh, by the way, there are more options available. You can put as little as 12 grand out of pocket or have a payment as low as $7,700 a month with a bigger down payment. Just click here to create your free account and compare all of your options. So this gives them a simple page just to feel non-threatened. Okay, now that they're here and they're like, yeah, actually, I didn't realize I could do that. That's great. Well, then now they're going to want to go a step further. This doesn't tell them they qualify. My deeper view tells them that they qualify. Now, it doesn't issue a pre-approval letter because I have to look at their income. I have to look at their debts. I have to run through all of that stuff. But it tells them, hey, based on everything you input, you're in great shape. That gives them the confidence that, hey, I can do this. It gives them the confidence to say, that's my monthly payment. Ooh, I'm not willing to spend 8 grand a month. Or, ooh, let's forget San Francisco County. Let's say you're buying in real life in Calaveras County. Okay, well, Calaveras County, the highest price you can buy is $1,034,000. Okay, just because of the loan limits. But let's pretend you're being realistic and saying, I want to buy a $600,000 home in Calaveras County. Awesome. You can buy a $600,000 home in Calaveras County. Your payment's going to be $3,755 a month. Now, I don't know if you've talked to people about buying homes. Hope you have. But you don't find people with zero down payment on a $600,000 home having $3,755 a month. It just doesn't happen. Okay. The payments right now are a lot higher. So this shows you how affordable it makes buying a home. And it's a simple calculator that just gives them enough to say, oh my gosh, I think I can see myself getting there. I want to create a free account. So I'm creating all of these assets. I'm creating all of these opportunities for us to work together, to present this to everyone you know, everyone that you've talked to, whether you're buying leads, whether you have your past clients. By the way, don't misunderstand. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I made and that a lot of people in marketing and real estate make is that you say to yourself, you know what? This isn't a good thing to call my past clients about because they're homeowners and they're not going to qualify. And then you start thinking, as I did, well, yeah, but they might have kids who could buy. But the problem is this program requires you to be a first generation. And if your client's a homeowner, then their kid is not first generation because their parent owns a home. But here's the thing that I forgot. First of all, people have friends, they have cousins, they have other family members that aren't just their children, but their children, even though they own a home, might have a spouse who doesn't own a home. Only one person on the loan needs to be a first generation home buyer. But here's the more important thing. This is simply about getting people to raise their hand and saying, I'd be interested in buying a home. I think it's a good idea to be a homeowner. Tell me more. Through the process, we may determine this isn't the right thing for you. I have a client in escrow right now. I got him in a contract. Well, I didn't get him in a contract. The realtor got him in a contract yesterday morning. It is a $600,000 home in the Central Valley that I referred to this realtor because they came to me without a real estate agent, came to me looking at down payment assistance programs and wanting to find out more about the California Dream for All program 3 weeks ago, and realized this person does not qualify for California Dream for All because they're not a first generation homebuyer. And so guess what? I showed them alternative programs. And this client says, you know what, that sounds great. I can afford that. I'd like to do it. What's the next step? I got them pre-approved. I got them in front of a great real estate agent, and we got them into contract yesterday, and we're getting it closed in the next 30 days. Okay, that's the power of this. Like, that is the power of this. that is not about overthinking and saying I should only get this in front of the few people that this fits into. Okay. There are so many people that are hiding, that are closet home shoppers. Okay. They're looking on Zillow, they're looking on Redfin, they're looking on Realtor.com, and you think they're going to call you, but they're not. Because they don't think they're ready, because they don't think they can afford the monthly payment, because they think, hey, a $600,000 home, I've been told is like $4,500 a month with no down payment. No, it's $3,750. Okay, now you need $24,000 in down payment and closing costs, but you can get a lot of that from the seller today. And so you might be able to get into this for only, $6 grand out of your pocket instead of 25 grand and have a $3,750 payment. Now, maybe that person doesn't qualify for Dream for All, or maybe they're afraid they don't want to wait because they don't want to worry about the lottery and not getting into the lottery. No big deal. Then we talk to them about alternatives. Every single person, when I give them a pre-approval letter, I'm saying, here's your Dream for All pre-approval. Here's your buy it now. Remember on eBay, I think eBay is still around. eBay had the auction. You could auction and try and bid at this particular price, or here's your buy it now price. That's the same thing we're dealing with here. You have, hey, you can get this for $3,750 a month, or you can get that $600,000 home for $4,400 a month, buy it now. Or you could just buy a $500,000 home and get it for $3,750, buy it now. It's up to you which direction you want to go. But there's always a buy it now option. And I'm shocked at how many people took me up on it. I'm not shocked, because the truth is the Dream for All program is expensive. You pay back 20% of your appreciation. Okay. So it's going to be costly down the road when you're trying to pay it back. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, because it's simply a matter of what was my alternative? Okay. Your alternative, I'm going to share with you the repayment, because this is one of the things, if you talk to anybody about it, they're going to say, oh, this is that program. That program's horrible. Okay. Well, guess what? If you don't use the program, you're probably not going to become a homeowner. And so the choice is, and by the way, on all of my pages, I've got here for the example, the client wants to buy a $550,000 home, a specific price, and here's his payments, 36, 34, or 32. Right down here, looking for a different down payment assistance option, or not first generation, or don't want to wait for the lottery. Bam, there's your option. $550,000 home, but you're looking at $4,200 a month. So you just have to recognize you're paying more for it. Or if you're trying to get a specific monthly payment of $4,000 a month, great, you can buy between 600, you can buy between 600 and 640 with between 0 and 25 grand out of pocket. Or you buy at 522,000 with a $4,000 a month payment and 26 grand out of pocket. And you can have the seller pay those closing costs. So there's a lot of opportunity here. For me, I don't expect the buyers to be able to, a lot of them are going to navigate and find this stuff, but this is really for you and I to show them. And the better you understand the portal, the better you can say, hey, I know you don't want a payment more than $4,000. So if you happen to wait for Dream for All, you're looking at either the lowest cash to close, the middle ground one, or the most amount of money out of pocket. And you're looking at somewhere between 610 and 672. They're like, yeah, but I'm not a first generation. I don't want to wait. Then you scroll down and say, fine, then for $4,000 a month, you buy a $522,000 home. Let's start shopping. Okay, I'm trying to make it easy for you to remove the friction, to take away any of the questions that people have. Okay, so Glenn says, sign me up. Glenn, here you go, buddy. So if you haven't done it already, here is where you're signing up. You are going right here. So you're going to go to dreamforall.info, or you're going to scan this QR code. This is amazing. Honestly, it is. I built it myself from scratch. Okay. I like technology. I'm a geek. So I'm still playing with it. I have a mortgage gig that I'm doing on the side that I'm actually helping people get mortgages. I'm kidding. That's what I do for a living. But I've been building this out. I enjoy doing it. And I'm spending, a lot of time figuring all of these pieces out. So when I say we're developing some stuff, we're working through some bugs, I'm the we, but I think I've done a pretty damn good job. Okay, I'm proud of myself. I'm patting myself on the back. I worked for 3 weeks on this, a lot of long hours, but it's awesome. Like, honestly, I love it. And I want to show you now. So this is how you start. Go to dreamforall.info or scan the QR code. It's limited time only. You only have 12 hours after this. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not limited time. I'm just kidding. But sign up. So Glenn says, sign me up. John says, looks great. Guys, there's so many ways we can use this. I do need your help kind of playing with it. Bug fixing, like you don't have to fix the bugs. Identifying, hey John, I'm in there, I love it, but this broke. This thing didn't work. I think I've caught a lot of them, but I'm trying to hold off giving it to you. The calculator side, I believe, works perfectly. There's going to be some bugs, but the calculator side, I believe, works perfectly. The realtor side, I'm still finishing up, which is why you're going to log in as a realtor. So when you scan on here, you're going to log in as a realtor, but you're not going to be able to get to your realtor dashboard. Okay, you're going to have a little orange or purple banner across the top here that's going to say you are pending. Thank you, Penny, for you're definitely in. I love it. It'll say you're pending acceptance. It's not because we don't want to accept you. I'm not ready to open it up. Okay, I'm not going to open it up until it's right. Now, there's still going to be some things that you'll find, but I want to make sure that the templates work properly, that everything works great. So sign up right now. You will still be able to view your own calculator. So when you're in there, you can view your own calculator. You can create I want to be clear. I'm not asking you to put in your own personal information. You can. I won't know the difference. All you're doing is putting in the income from the borrower. You're putting the, so if I go right here and I say, hey, you go to my info, you are my personal calculator. You're putting in the borrower's income, you're putting in the credit score, you're putting in the debts, all of this stuff you are entering. And the debts thing had a glitch earlier. I couldn't add a debt. So that I need to fix. But the bottom line is you can play with the calculator. You can talk to your clients if you have somebody right now that's saying, hey, I don't think I can afford a monthly payment. Even if you don't have the calculator, I'm sorry, the income and the credit debts correctly, it doesn't matter because you still can play with the qualification. The difference is it'll say you don't qualify. So if I have a client, if I'm you right now, and I have a client who says, hey, I want to know, can I buy $1 million home? It's going to say right here, you're not qualified. Okay. But that's only because you don't show enough income, but it doesn't matter whether you input the income or not. Okay. It's going to say you're not qualified because your income is too low to afford to make that payment, but the numbers are correct. So you can tell somebody, man, you could buy $1 million home in Alameda County based on today's interest rates. You can qualify for an interest rate of, a monthly payment of this with this much money out of pocket. And if you don't want to wait, you can do the buy it now option. And the buy it now option for $1 million home, you have a $7,600 monthly payment. So you can even run those numbers verbally with your clients. And remember, tell them, look, this is estimated. I'm using a tool that an amazing guy created that is not guaranteed to be 100% accurate. Okay, it's a ballpark thing, but the truth is, if you ever looked at the payments they show on Zillow, they're all over the place. They mess up the taxes, they mess up the insurance. And so these numbers, I feel very, very, very good about my numbers. Obviously, rates change every day. Taxes and insurance are different on every property. Is there a homeowners association? All of those things can adjust these numbers. But I feel very, very good about the accuracy of these numbers. I'm still working on all the pieces for the Realtor dashboard. I wanted to get the client calculator built out first. So when you register, you're going to show up as a potential realtor and you're going to have the access to your calculator. You won't have access to creating landing pages. You won't have access to inviting your clients yet. But if you do have a client that wants to do it, you can share the app with them directly and you can I'm going to put a share button on here as a matter of fact for everybody, but you can share this app with them directly and then just tell me, hey, John, they're mine, and that way I can tag them with your information. Guys, that is everything that I wanted to cover. I know I covered a whole lot. I want to pause just in case there's any more questions on the people who are here in person on Zoom. So if you have a question, post it into chat. I'm going to take maybe 30 more seconds. So if you don't have any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. The landing page information is right here. This is not the link you share with your buyers. The truth is, if you do, there's a link. Here's how you find it. Okay, if you're like, John, how do I share a link to my buyers? Go to this dreamforall.info. Okay, so right now I'm going to go to, so Glenn, great question. I'll answer it in 1 second. I'm going to go to dreamforall.info. And you're going to go right here and you're going to say, well, John, this is the realtor one. I know, but right down here it says click here to go to the calculator. Now you got the link. You're in. This is what you would send to a client right now. Okay, so Glenn, I'm going to answer your question. So this is the link you would send. You can get it just from going to the same QR code page and just clicking on the bottom where it says, so don't send this page to the realtor, to the client, but click here and it will take you right to this page. This is where somebody would get started for free. Okay, this is where any of your clients can create their own calculator. All right, now Glenn is asking me, I'm going to put this QR code back up here as I answer Glenn's question. So the Dream for All program, Glenn asked, are funds available right now for Dream for All? No new money. So here's the most important thing and why that matters. Because the money people are using right now, they went into the lottery between April 2nd of 2024 and April 28th of 2024. They had 26 days to get their name into the lottery. If they missed it by one day, they've never had a chance to access this money until now. Okay, which means that when the next lottery comes out, which is it is going to be spring of 2026. We don't have dates yet, but everybody who's logged into the portal will get the updates on it. I'll keep everybody updated regularly. But here's the deal. If you miss the next window of time, then history says it's 2 more years before there's another window coming out. Depends on how quickly the state releases money. But the way the pattern is gone, it's going to be 2 more years before it goes out. So no, Glenn, there's no money available right now. But there's money that's about to become available, and you better be ready. Now, I'm not just saying you better be ready. You do better be ready, because you need to make sure that you're getting this out in front of all of your buyers, all of your potential buyers, all of your past clients, all of your leads. Because if they miss the window to submit a lottery request, they're out. But here's the more important part. They can't submit a lottery request unless they're qualified. I can't give somebody, I have a golden ticket that I have to give people, that I get the opportunity to give people, that gives you the ability to get into the lottery. You can't get into the lottery and then get qualified later. They won't let unqualified people into the lottery. So you have to have your pre-approval by me. Now you can go to any Cal Halfway approved lender, but if you're watching this, you're using me, okay? So you have to have your pre-approval by me. And I can't pre-approve you if you're not qualified. So I had people last year, I told you I had 250 people who said they were interested, 86 who got pre-approvals and got into the lottery. Some of those people missed their chance because their credit wasn't ready. They missed their chance because they didn't prepare ahead of time. Now, I don't want that to happen to anybody now. I don't want that to happen to your clients. I've had many realtors who have used this program. I don't want this to happen to you if this is something that you're interested in. And so you need to find out now what it takes to get you qualified. And there's only 3 things we care about. And one of them is already taken care of. So the 3 things are cash. Well, that's already taken care of because the state's covering your down payment. And as a matter of fact, you saw a whole bunch of scenarios where I can get you almost 0 money out of pocket without a seller credit. So the cash isn't a problem. The other 2 are credits and income. This is not an FHA loan. It's a Fannie Mae conventional loan. You've got to have a 680 credit score. Sometimes I can go as low as 660. Everybody on the loan has to have a 680 credit score, or the 660, depending upon where you fit into the income levels, okay? Your income. I had a client who was about to quit his W-2 job to go be self-employed. And I said, how important is it for you to buy a house? And he said, super important. I said, then don't quit that job, because it's going to take 2 years after you start being self-employed before I can use that income. I'm going to have people who haven't filed taxes showing good enough income, and they're going to, last year, 2 years ago, this came out in April. People didn't call me until April, and they'd already filed their taxes. If they would have called me before they filed their taxes, as a self-employed person, I could have given them advice on how much to show in profit on their taxes, and they would have shown a little bit more profit, but they would have now been eligible to buy a home. And because they'd already filed their taxes, I couldn't give them the golden ticket. I couldn't give them a pre-approval letter, and you can't use co-signers on this program. Everybody on the loan has to be living in the property or going to be living in the property. So it's not like you can get mom and dad to co-sign with you unless mom and dad are moving in with you. So Glenn, hopefully that answers your question. This is an absolutely amazing opportunity. I've been spending a long time working on it, and then I've been spending the last couple of months figuring out what do I need to do to take most advantage of this opportunity. And what you're seeing right now is really what I came up with. I need to give you guys tools. I need tools that I can send to buyers, to prospective buyers, to past clients that helps them figure out, is this right for me? But that also allows me to help them look at other alternatives, because this isn't the only program out there. So guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to post it right now. Otherwise, I am wrapping up. Scan the QR code or go to dreamforall.info, register yourself as a potential realtor, get your information in there. Again, if the upload of your picture or your logo is not showing properly, email me the logo and picture, and I'll get it in there properly. But we're getting you guys preset. As soon as it's ready, we'll get it launched. I'm hoping in the next week or so we'll get it launched to you. Really, really, really appreciate you joining today. If you're watching recorded, shame on you for not joining live. But appreciate you watching anyway. I'm really looking forward to helping all of you guys. Have an absolutely wonderful day. If I don't talk to you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm looking forward to an amazing 2026 with all of you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.